Afraid of making a later in life or midlife career change, or maybe even a 20-something career change? Yep, fear can hold us back. Let's deal with those fears right now. If you're looking to make a transformational career change and you need some help, then subscribe to my channel and ring that bell when you do. That way you'll get notified every time I post a weekly video. And stick with me to the end of this video because I've got a free download for you that'll help you bag that job you hate and get to the work you've always wanted to do. Hi, I'm Paul Peixoto with WholeWorker, and I'm here to help you make a transformational career change. What is that? Well, that's bagging the job that might not be engaging you right now or that you've lost your passion for and getting to the work that you've always wanted to do. I've been training individuals in professional development skills for over 20 years. I've trained tens of thousands of individuals like yourself in various careers. I want to help you get to the work that you've always wanted to do. So let's do that right now, and let's get to allaying those fears that are keeping you from making a transformational career change. You know, everyone has a work deep within them that's dying to come out, that needs to come out. I believe that with all my body, mind, and soul. Each one of us has a work, but very often our career choices don't support that. I want to help you get to the work that you've always wanted to do. And so we're going to talk about the fear of making a career change. Now, there are many fears, and some of those fears keep us from making that transformational career change that we really need to make. So let's talk about them. Let's list them right here. There's the big one, fear of failure, right? That's a very, very common one. There's the fear of lack of security. You know, we've got that paycheck coming all the time and our benefits, and you know, it just feels so secure. That's the fear that doesn't want us to get out of our comfort zone. We're going to talk about that. And maybe we need to sort of jumpstart the process to help us get over that fear. Then there's the fear of timing, that it's too late. Maybe I'm at midlife, or maybe, God forbid, I'm even later in life, in my 50s or my 60s, and I'm thinking about a career change now. Isn't it too late, Paul? Well, I'm here to tell you, no, it's never too late. And it's never been easier to make a transformational career change than it is today. But we're going to get into that in a minute. There's another fear, the fear that something's wrong with me. You know, I should be satisfied in my career. I should be satisfied with what I'm doing. I put all this time, effort, and money into my career. Who am I to think that I should switch now, right? That's another fear that's very common. And here I'm going to tell you, you know, there's not something wrong with you. There's actually something very right with you. And what is right with you is that desire to get that work out of you, to find out what that thing is and get it into the marketplace. Whether it's helping individuals, whether it's writing a book, whether it's creating a business, whatever it is, there's something very right with you that needs to come out. That's what we're going to talk about here. So here's how we're going to do this. Rather than look at a list of do's and don'ts that our fears have us kind of play to, let's look at a process that we can use and apply to all of these various fears. As a matter of fact, you could apply this process to any fear in your life at all, but we're going to apply them specifically to the decision of career change. So let's put a process in place that'll help us allay these fears. Let's get to it right now. Okay, the first step in our process is to see fear as an ally. Yep, I kind of want you to make friends with your fear. I don't want you to deny it. I don't want you to put on some positive mental attitude and pretend that you don't have any fears. That is not human. Fear is a natural human emotion. And so none of us should look at having a life or leading a life that is totally devoid of fear. We're going to have fears. You know, when you lean over that cliff and your heart starts pumping and your blood pressure goes up, you're in fear because there's something that's of value to you, your life. That's what's at stake here, should you fall over that cliff. And that's what fears are pointing out. They're pointing out that something is at risk here, something that you value. Now the question becomes, once you've deduced what that something is should I value that something? The best example of this, especially when we talk about career change, is the common fear of what others will think if we should make a career change. Think about that one. We're valuing what others will think and not making that career change choice because that's more important to us, what others will think, than my satisfaction with my own career and my own work. Not a good place to be. So I want you to do a little analysis, make fear your ally, notice and acknowledge the resistances you have, because it's the resistances that are causing the problem and the stresses. Lean into that fear. Don't deny it. Lean into it and figure out what it is that's causing you to fear that particular thing. Make friends with your fear. Have a little compassion for yourself. Another thing with fear that you have to realize is that fear usually deals with the future. You might be thinking to yourself, there's 1,000,001 things I need to do in order to make a career change. Well, do you need to make 1,000,001 changes today? No, probably not. What's the one thing you can do to move in the direction of making a career change today? Fear is usually dealing with the future. So as long as we stay in the present moment, as long as we stay in today, we can allay those fears a little bit. So the first step in our process is fear is an ally. Focus on fear as an ally. Figure out what that fear is and whether or not you want to cast your emotional lot with that fear. Like in our example, the fear of what others will think. This will get you in the direction of allaying your fears and moving into the career that you really want to be in. Okay, the second step in our process of dealing with our fear of career change is to ask yourself this question: what would my life look like without the fear? In other words, if there was nothing that could go wrong, what would my life look like if I stepped into that career change? And now here, we're really talking about vision. We're talking about building a mental picture in your head of what your life would look like. And right here, I'd like to mention a spiritual leader, and he was showcased in that book and the movie, The Secret. Michael Beckwith. Michael Beckwith has a great little couplet, a great little quote in which he says, "Pain pushes until vision pulls." Right? I love that. Pain pushes until vision pulls. Fear got you here, but that's not where you're supposed to stay. Fear pushed you to this point. Now it's up to vision to pull you into your new career choice. So you have to build that vision, do you not? And there's lots of different ways you can do this. You can do that through journaling. Some of us are writers and journal really well. I write a little bit for my job, but I don't really consider myself a writer, so I don't journal that often. But I do write a lot of things down. I'm sort of a list guy, so I put lists all the time. Lots of people do vision boards, and what that is cutting out pictures or even drawing pictures of what that vision, that complete vision looks like, and sticking them up on a board so you can see that complete picture. That's a great way to do it. What you're essentially doing is taking what's in your head and putting it visually in front of you. But it starts with taking that picture in your head. Now, when you do that, when you build a vision of what life will look like without that fear, moving into your chosen career, then you're going to have to do that with a lot of imagery, a lot of detail. That's the important part about vision. I want you to paint that picture big and bold and beautiful with lots and lots of detail. Don't just think or say to yourself, well, what life will look like without that fear of making a career change would be I'll have a lot more money. That's just Don't stop there. Sorry for the here. Don't stop there. What would you do with that money? Picture yourself utilizing that money in different ways. What would you do with it? How about the positive effect that you would have on people in moving into the work that you really want to do, the influence you would have on others? For example, what does your well-being look like? What does your mental well-being look like? How's your confidence moving into your chosen career? How's that confidence level? Your self-esteem would be another one to take a look at. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to paint that picture big and bold and beautiful. If you want to journal it, write it on down. You could always revise that journal. That's a good thing to do. If you want to create a vision board, that's a great way to do it. But by all means, create that vision in your head by asking yourself the question, what would it look like? What would my life look like without this fear? That's the second step in the process. What's the biggest fear that keeps you from making a transformational career change? Put that in the comments below. I'm sure it'll inspire and encourage other people when they realize that they're not the only one that has that same fear. Okay, the third and final part of our process in dealing with our fear of making a career change is you need community. Yep, you need community. You need a support group. Nobody makes a decision and a change of this magnitude alone. That's part of why fear has a grip on you, because you think you need to do it alone. Don't do that. Build a community up around you. And it doesn't need to be large. It could be a half dozen of your closest friends and colleagues. Whatever the size doesn't matter. The important part is that you have a community around you. And you have that community around you for three reasons. One is support and encouragement. You need that support and encouragement because there are going to be some tough decisions you're going to have to make. There are going to be some tough times as you make that change. You need a group of people who will be your cheerleaders, who will be your champions and press you through. We all need that encouragement. So that's the first reason you need community. The second reason you need community is for accountability. You know, we really don't get things done in our lives until we're accountable to someone else to do them. It's easy to have that. We do this with, what do we call them? New Year's resolutions. We do that with New Year's resolutions. They come up in our heads, but we don't tell anybody about them. So by the end of January, we're not working on them anymore. They're a wash because we didn't make ourselves accountable. A community will keep you accountable. And the third reason you need to have a community around you is for wisdom. You need a group of people that you can bounce questions off of, that you can get a reality check from. That's what a community will help you do. That's what WholeWorker is doing for a whole bunch of people who are making career changes. They're being that support group, they're being that accountability group, and they're being that wisdom group, the ones that they can bounce questions off of. That's really important. You can create your own. Feel free to join WholeWorkers, but you can create your own. It's never been easier to create your own community. You can do it on Facebook, gather a couple of your friends together, tell them what you're trying to do, and tell them that you need them for those three reasons. So, the last part of the process is build a community around you so that you're not making this career change alone. Okay, making a transformational career change takes some help. It's going to take more than just allaying your fears. There are many parts to the process. And in order to help you get there, I've got a free download for you in the form of an ebook. And the ebook is entitled Blend: Why You'll Never Achieve Work-Life Balance and Shouldn't Even Try. In it, I give you 10 shifts you can make in your thinking to get you to the work you've been dying to do. The link for that ebook is in the show notes below. Go ahead and download that today. Now, there's multiple ways you can connect with the WholeWorker community if you want to use that community as sort of a built-in one for allaying those fears and getting you started in making your career change. You can follow us on all the various social media. We're on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, or you can go to WholeWorker.com and sign up for our email list. And by doing that, you'll get another free tool that'll help you advance your career. So feel free to hit up any of those links. They're in the show notes below as well. Okay, that's it for now. Hey, before you go, give this video a like if you liked it, of course. And while you're doing that, subscribe to this channel and ring that bell so that you get notified every time I post a new video, which is every week. And share this channel with your friends and family as well. I'm Paul Peixoto with WholeWorker. Thanks for watching.